Yes, so good evening, class. Today we'll be continuing with the poem that we have started, that is Vocation. So we'll recite it, right? Yes, so when at 4 in the afternoon I come back from the school, I can see through the gate of that house the gardener digging the ground. He does what he likes with his spade, he soils his clothes with dust, nobody takes him to task. If he gets baked in the sun or gets wet, I wish I were a gardener digging away at the garden with nobody to stop me from digging. So this is what we have recited in the previous class as well. So just to recall, we have started with this stanza. Yes. So here the poet was basically envious of different occupations the different people were having around him. So in this first, he was envious of the gardener who was digging whenever he can, wherever he can, and he was not afraid of getting the soil on his clothes and getting baked in the sun, basically, because there was no one who would be scolding the poet, so scolding the gardener basically. So the poet was envious of these things. So we'll be moving forward from here. Yes. Now, what are the duties of a gardener? Yes, you will be telling me that what are the different duties of a gardener. I'll be giving you 5 to 10 seconds to give your response in the comment section below. Yes. Yes. What are the different duties that a gardener would be doing? So he would be giving giving the water to the plants, planting new trees in the garden, new flowers in the garden. Basically, new seedlings will be there, right? Giving water to the plants who are already there. Then he'll be taking care if there are no extra grass, no weed is growing between the wanted plants that are there, right? And also digging the soil for the aeration purpose. That is also there. That is the work of the gardener, to maintain the garden properly. Yes, very good, students. You have done well. So we'll be moving forward from here with this thought. You will be checking your understanding that you will be creating a sentence with take him to task. Yes, I'll give you 5 to 10 seconds to do that. There was no one to take him to task. Yes, I haven't made one. You will be making the next one. Yes, very good, students. You're doing great. Yes, so the next question is that why a child wanted to become a gardener? Why he was envious of the gardener's job, basically. Yes, so he was envious of the gardener. He wanted to become a gardener because the gardener could dig anywhere, and for how much time he wanted to. There was no time limit that for how long he can dig. He can dig for however long he wanted to. So there was no one to scold him for that. So that is why the poet also want to become a gardener, so that he can dig wherever he can, and also he wanted to have dirt, have to have dirt on his clothes, to play in the dirt, to play in the soil, but he was afraid that his mother would scold him, so he was not able to do that. So he was always envious of the gardener as well, because the gardener would have soil on his clothes and be baked in the sun, and and he would not be scolded for that. So the poet wanted to be a gardener for that reasons. Yes, now I'll be reciting this and you'll be doing the same afterwards. So just as it gets dark in the evening and my mother sends me to bed, I can see through my open window the watchman walking up and down. The lane is dark and lonely, and the street lamp stands like a giant with one red eye in its head. The watchman swings his lantern and walks with his shadow at his side and never goes to bed in his life. Yes. I wish I were a watchman walking the street all night, chasing the shadows with my lantern. Yes. Sorry for that. I was trying to move myself here. Yes. So when it gets dark in the evening, his mother, the poet's mother, sends him to the bed but he can see through his window that the watchman was walking up and down with his lantern, and he would be swinging. Basically, this is a movement of swinging movement. The lane is dark and lonely, and street lamp stands like a giant with one red eye in the head. So red giant, because street lamp is being compared with the giant. Giant is basically someone who is abnormally tall, right, and large, greater. So the watchman swings his lantern and walks with his shadow at his side. He is swinging the lantern with the one hand, and the shadow will be formed on the other side. So we are saying walks with his shadow at his side, and never once goes to bed in his life. So I wish I were a watchman walking by street all night, chasing the shadows with my lantern. So chasing the shadow means that following the shadows basically. Yes, you will be. I'll be giving you time to recite the stanza. I'll give you 10 to 15 seconds for that. Yes. So we'll be moving forward now. You will be analyzing the situation that a watchman never sleeps at night. Is this statement true or false? And you'll give reasons. A watchman never sleeps at night. Yes, so a watchman never sleeps at night. It is a true statement because the job of the watchman is to keep guard during the night only. So he never sleeps at night. That is why the poet was envious of him. He also wanted to roam outside during the night, which his mother did not allow him to do that. So we'll be moving forward with this thought, and we'll be giving answer to this question as well, that what is compared with the giant in the poem. Yes, I'll give you 5 seconds to think upon this and write your answers in the comment section below. Yes, so the answer to this question should be that street lamp was being compared with the giant, because just like a giant, street lamp is also very tall basically. Yes, now yes, you will be comparing the whose work do you think is easier? Yes, yes, students, whose work do you think is easier and why do you think so? You will be writing your reasons in the comment section below. Yes, you can think upon it and you'll be writing your answers in the comment section. I'll be reading upon that. So the work, we cannot judge whose work is easier or tougher because they are both having different tasks that are related with their jobs, right? A hawker's job is also difficult, and a police officer's job is also difficult. So they both should be respected in their own different ways. Yes, they have their share of difficulties related to their job. Yes, very good students, you are doing great. So what do you think is the theme of the poem? Yes. Yes. So what do you think is the theme of this poem? Yes, in this we have seen that the boy was longing for the different occupations, that he is thinking that the job is easier than what it is actually. He think that a gardener just has to play with soil and he can ruin his clothes as much as he wants, and a hawker basically has no direction. He can move wherever he wants freely with freedom, right? So he's longing for the freedom. And the watchman as well. So in the case of watchman as well, the child wants to move freely during night, which he was not able to do because his mother used to put him into bed in the evening. Yes. So the theme of this poem is about the desire that a child is having towards the freedom. Yes, the desire for freedom, that is of a boy's, little boy's desire. So in this, the boy was longing for different freedom from for different vocations, basically different occupations, but he was not aware of the hardship they actually has to go through, and he was just thinking that they are better than his present state, which is not actually the case, because all the occupations that he was thinking that they would be independent and they would not have to do that much of work were actually pretty tough and required much efforts to be done, right? So we'll be moving forward. Yes, now you will be checking your understanding. Now, what have we learned from the poem? This poem, Vocation, what have we learned from this poem? Yes, you will be entering your responses in the comment section below. That what is your learning from this poem? Yes, so we have learned from this poem that every occupation should be respected. Firstly, that, and sometimes we do not appreciate the current present situation we are in. We are not satisfied with our life, and we sometimes are envious of others. But when we are not considering the hardship they must be going through, so but still, the poet was a little child, so he was just desiring for the freedom that he thought that others occupations are having, while he was just a kid, so he was not allowed to do many things. So while he was envious of those different occupations which other people are having, so he was just noticing them, and he wanted to become like them. He wanted to roam freely in every direction, whichever direction he wanted to go, and with no fear of returning home, just like a hawker. And just like a gardener, he wanted to play in the soil, get baked in the sun without getting scolded from his mother. Yes. And if we talk about the last one, that is the watchman. He wanted to swing his lantern in the night and chase the shadows with the lantern inside, because he wanted that he would be moving freely during the night as well, which he was not able to do as a child, right? So we'll be having a recap of what we have discussed. Yes, yes. So we'll do a recap. So this poem was written by none other than Rabindranath Tagore, who is a great poet, dramatist, and an artist. So he's greatly respected, and he has written the national anthem as well, right? So this poem was that is Vocation is written by him, and we will be discussing that what is the meaning of take to task. Yes, I'll give you 10 seconds to answer this question in the chat box below. Meaning of take to task. Yes, so the meaning of take to task is to criticize someone. Yes, it is to criticize someone or to call to account for a shortcoming. Yes, when we are blaming something for a shortcoming that is there, right? So that is what taking to task mean. Take to task mean. Yes. Now you will be listing one duty of gardener. Yes, this is an easy task for you. So you will be listing one duty of gardener. Yes, very good students. So one of the duties of the gardener will be to give water to the plants. Very good. Yes, very good. To air for the aeration purpose, digging the soil near the plants. Mound the grass. Very good students. Mound the grass is also a duty of the gardener. Yes. Planting new plants, flowers, or because basically flowers in the garden, right? Seasonal plants. That is also the duty of the gardener. Basically, maintaining the garden in a proper shape, right? That will be the duty of the gardener. You have listed many of the duties. Very good, students. Now, who does not sleep at night? Who do you think it was? Which occupation was related to this? That he was not able to sleep on night. Sleep at night. Who does not sleep at night? I'll give you 4 seconds to answer this question. Yes, so it was watchman. Very good, you have answered correctly. That it was watchman who was not able to sleep at night because he was the one who had to keep watch during night when everybody else is sleeping, right? So now we know that it was watchman. Now each job is, yes. Now you will be answering this question. Then what do you consider then now? Each job should be. Each job is. Yes, so each job is equal, or each job is equal, and each job should be respected basically, right? So we should consider that each job is equal. Pride of labor should be there in the between the people, so that each job should be respected by everyone. So that nobody feel ashamed of doing a certain job, and everybody can be doing their job respectfully with the respect they deserve to get. Very good, students, you have done well. So we'll be moving forward towards the homework. So let me just give a few seconds for this. Yes. So you will, what will you do? You will search and read some other poems written by Rabindranath Tagore. As we know that he is a dramatist, he is a poet, and his, yes. So we know. Yes, so he is a poet, he is a dramatist, he is a novelist. So we know that he has written many other stories as well. So you will be searching and reading some other poems written by Rabindranath Tagore, and you'll be discussing those in the next class, which we'll be having soon. Yes, so the next question is here that you will record the speech on freedom, and you will be sending it through mail. I'll be sharing my mail through the in the description box from where you will be sending your recorded mail, that is on freedom, and send it through mail, because we have seen that in this story, in this poem as well, the little boy was, what was this? There is little disturbance in the, sorry, I was not able to record. Yes, so you will record your speech on freedom. As we have seen that in the poem as well, the little boy was the envious of the different occupations, because he thought that there is a sense of independence, and there is a sense of freedom in those jobs, when he was not while he was not aware of the hardship that comes with those occupations, those different occupations. So that is what the poem was depicting, that the child thought that those he was desiring towards those different occupations that were there, but basically they were not having that much amount of freedom which he thought that they would be. So that is it for today. Yes, if you have any kind of queries, you can write those queries in the chat box, or we can say the comment section. I'll be I'll be replying to those soon. And if you find any difficult word in the stanza which I was not aware of, which I skipped maybe, so you can write those words in the chat box as well. I will be surely answering to those, and I hope you have found this lecture interesting, and I'll also be coming again with one more interesting lesson which you'll be enjoying. So session is going to end soon. Till then, if you have any queries, you can discuss So it was the poem Vocation that we have just recited. I'll just open the page of the poem so that you can recite it again by the time the session is going to end. Yes. Yes. Very good, students. So lantern is basically just like it is shown in the image here. It's like just like a lamp, small lamp, a small antique type of lamp that was there, which is having a small light in it, so that we can see it in the darkness. Lane basically means the path that are there on the road. So lane is that. I hope the difficult words, no difficult words are left in the stanzas. And we have discussed about the different literary devices as well. That the giant, the lamp was being compared with the giant by the use of light, which is a simile. Yes. I wish I were was being repeated again and again. So there is repetition here as well. So very good, students. We are done for today. We have discussed everything that was there in the poem. We have recited the poem again as well. Yes, so I'm going to end the session now. The session is going to end. If there are any queries, you can write them in the comment section below. I'll be reading those. If there are any suggestions to improve, you can write those as well. I'll be taking those suggestions surely and will be trying to improve on that. How do I move this? Okay, this is a size. Can I control the size of it? I can only write it once here. Okay. Yes, so students, I was just exploring some of the options on this app for my next video. It was just about that. Yes, thank you so much for staying there and being a good sport. We'll be meeting again. Till then, stay healthy and happy. Yes, this I'm going to end the session now. Thank you so much for being there. And I hope we'll be meeting in the next class again. And it will be an interesting lesson again. Thank you so much.